everyone, it is Lucy and today is the third and final makeup declutter video. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, then I would highly recommend checking them out. I'm a little bit biased perhaps, but those two videos cover all things base, so foundation, blush, highlighter, and then all things eyes, so eyeshadow, mascaras, eyeliners, etc, which means that today's video will be all things lips. We've got a little bit of K-beauty, we've got a little bit of affordable drugstore kind of vibe, we've got a little bit of luxury. It's kind of a mix of everything here, and lip products are probably my favorite category. I think it's probably like the category that I'm always most tempted by when I'm like shopping, because it's such a variety and I enjoy so many of that variety and I just want to experience and try different things. But yeah, grab a cup of tea, grab a little snackaroo and settle in, because it's another kind of longish sort of video. Also, with any of the products featured throughout this video, I will do my best to name them and link them and put them in the description down below, so if anything is of interest to you, it will all be there. But I hope you enjoy, because I've been really enjoying sharing like declutter organization content with you, and let's go. Okie dokie, and here we are with the final section of our makeup declutter. The lip drawer, which I think, I mean, in terms of organization, it's not too bad. We just have basically lip glosses, lip tints, you know, taller lip items, and then lipsticks or shorter lip components. And then over here we have some lip liners, and in here we have some lip glosses and balms. This section will be kind of interesting because I suppose out of all makeup items, similar to something like blush, I do wear like a different lip color every day. I don't really wear the same one all the time. I obviously have some that I use more than others, some favorites, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't wear a red liquid lipstick every day, but I do like to have one. So I feel like it's going to be interesting because like looking at these products, I can just see so many. For example, my Romand lip tints. I've probably reached for all of these at some point in the last couple of months. Like, I know I wear all of them, but then there are other things where I'm like, I don't actually wear this, or like, I don't remember the last time I wore it. Lip colors and having a variety of different finishes and shades and formulas and stuff is kind of my favorite. Oh, I also didn't mention, this is just like my little, this is where I keep like backups. So some of the cushions that you saw earlier, this is where like the extra cushion goes. But yes, final frontier, let's explore this. Okie dokie, here we go, and don't mind my nails. I did end up taking my polish off, but I think they look, you know, they're looking okay. I do sometimes get like little kind of dry cuticles and whatnot, but hopefully the crusties are kind of concealed by the magic of this camera lens. Either way, let's start with lip liners, because this is actually a pretty easy section, as actually a bunch of these are kind of broken. I don't know what's happened, but especially some of these Korean lip liners I've tried, I don't know if I stored them wrong or if I put the cap on wrong or something, but a bunch of them just like the product got like smushed or something, and like they just are actually like empty or like no longer usable. So this section will be pretty quick, and I'm just going to separate them into the ones I'm keeping and the ones that are broken, because I can't use them. So these three here are broken, and this one here is just like very old. So I will be decluttering those ones. And then these ones remaining are my lip liners. If you have any recommendations for lip liners, then please let me know, because I don't know, I just don't like have a lot of them, and I just feel like I don't find the right colors. However, I will say these kind of shorter ones are the ones I've used the most. It is the MAC Posy Perfect Pro Longwear Lip Pencil and the Urban Decay 24/7 lip liner in the shade Native. And these two are my go-tos. And then these ones, got one from Missha, one from Essence, those ones are new, one from Kiko, it's fine, it's just like the one red lip liner I have, and the RAM Beauty like kind of texture felt tip lip liner. These ones I'm also like testing and using, but not as much strong attachment to. Whereas these ones, like, I actually really love the formula and have been using them for years, and they're just so good, and I would like repurchase these because they're just the perfect kind of pinky nude lip color for me. So yeah, that's that riveting section. Let's move on to lip glosses, because I love lip gloss and I have quite a few of them. Okay, quite a few more lip glosses than I was kind of expecting. But I think I can actually sort through these pretty quickly, because just looking here, I can see some that I use like every day, some that I like think of using or do use in certain circumstances, and some that I'm like, I either never use or they're too old. So in the interest of time, because I know this video is already going to be completely massive and chonkers, I'm going to go through these glosses and kind of separate them into categories and kind of talk more broadly and perhaps talk about some of the more interesting ones, because we've got a whole bunch of other lipsticks and stuff to talk about too. So I'm just going to quickly do that now. Alrighty, so I've kind of got everything in order. Here we kind of have, these are the lip glosses that I know I use kind of regularly or I really like for particular occasions. And then this category down here is sort of our newer kind of category. So I am going to keep them, but they're still new to me. Like I'm still kind of figuring out how I feel about them, etc, etc. And then these ones down here are the ones that are either really old. Some of these I'm looking at, I think are like 4+ years old, which isn't ideal. And / or I don't really use them for whatever reason. But let me just move this to the side for a second and we'll quickly run through this. These two from Unleasha are super cute, but I got them like years ago on a Japan trip, so they need to go. This one from Etude House, which I think actually now is just called Etude, but this one is their Cherry Moisture Lip Gloss. I highly recommend this. This is actually a beautiful gloss. It's just that I bought the other kind of shade in this kind of like pinky kind of sheer shade that I absolutely loved. And so I thought I should try and get the one in the other color that's like this kind of color changing blue clear kind of dealio. But I just don't like this shade as much as I like the original shade. And I feel like if you've had this happen, then you can probably relate. But sometimes we just like the one we originally had. We don't actually, you know, need another color. Just the first one is the one. Also, this is very old and I don't use it, so definitely decluttering. This is from an M Cosmetics set of minis. The other gloss shade, I think in French Nude, I'll be keeping because I absolutely love that gloss shade, but I just don't really use this one. This I haven't used extensively. This is a MacQueen lip oil kind of gloss. I think it was from the Yes Style Advent Calendar last year. And in terms of kind of the finish of how it looks and stuff, it's quite nice, but I just have other lip glosses and oils that I prefer to this one. So I don't see the need to keep this because I will always reach for those ones over this one. This lip gloss is so cute. It is from Lime Crime. It's one of their wet cherry glosses. As you can see, it's super sparkly and pretty, but this glitter kind of gloss, sometimes the way that glosses are made with the formula, you can't really feel the grit, but this one is a very like gritty textured gloss and I just find it quite unpleasant to wear, so I just never reach for it, unfortunately. And this one with the label barely holding on is from ColourPop. It's the So Juicy Gloss. It's meant to be kind of like those old school Lancome Juicy Gloss tubes. This is also just very old and needs to move on to the gloss afterlife. And then we have the keep pile. Like I said, I'm going to move these 4 away because I have only sort of recently acquired and been trying these ones. We have some Korean brands and Patrick Ta, kind of like a bunch of different stuff. So I'm going to go and continue testing these, but there's not much for me to say about these. And then here are all the glosses I'm going to be keeping. I'm going to go real rapid fire. This is the other Etude gloss that I just talked about. This is the original color that I liked and that I do wear and I just think it's very pretty. I prefer this one, so I'm keeping this one. This Romande gloss is one of the prettiest finishes on the lips I think I've ever seen. It's just so glassy and wet. You do have to reapply quite a bit to keep that kind of effect going, but it's just like so stunning and really, really pretty in pictures. Yeah, I'll link this below because I just think it's the best. This Fenty gloss in the shade Fussy. When I originally tried this, you know, I feel like everyone was like, the Fenty glosses are the best glosses and stuff. And I tried it and I was kind of like, yeah, it's good, but like, I don't know, like maybe it's not the best. But I find myself reaching for this all the time, especially I think it's the shade, this really pretty kind of like neutral muted pink shade. I did say it already, but Fussy. Yeah, this is one of my go-tos. I really, really like this gloss. It's very easy to use. And unlike the name, it's just very unfussy. And then the Fenty one is definitely a kind of a slightly higher price point, but this from Maybelline, their Lifter Gloss, is very similar in terms of the doe foot applicator. It's really nice and chunky, and also like the effect it has on the lips. It's very similar in terms of formula. I do think it is a pretty solid dupe. So yeah, that's the Lifter Gloss, and I have it in the shade, it's 002 Ice. But yeah, love this color. This from Ciate London is their Pump Plump in the shade Honeydew. It's just kind of like a neutral beigey color, but I just really like the applicator. You know, it's like, and you kind of click it down like that.
and it's a bit minty, and I don't really have a lot of super minty glosses. So yeah, it's a nice, easy to use one. Definitely gives like beachy kind of like model off duty vibes, but yeah, quite a nice formula. This one from the Korean brand Hera, it's their Central Spicy Gloss, I think that's the name. Yeah, it's a very pretty gloss formula. Looks very glossy. I feel like that's really kind of silly to say, but you know what I mean? Some glosses don't have that really pretty, juicy, high shine. Like they kind of have like a, you know what I mean? Like they're just not as glossy. And I don't know, even just like this alone on the lips is just like a very kind of unique, neutrally sort of fun color. I'm not explaining it very well, but it's definitely like almost like a honey kind of formula, and the actual color of the gloss itself is really pretty. I have a lot of really sheer glosses, but in terms of like a gloss that is like a nice, really pretty lip color on its own, this is one of them. Another lip product from REM Beauty. This is the Plumping Lip Gloss in VCR. It's a lot more brown than I kind of have in my lip collection. I don't really tend to wear a lot of browns. They're not really my favorite. But I do like the mintiness of this gloss, and it can be sheared out quite a bit. And it's also really pretty over other like neutral or nude lip colors. The only thing is I don't love the packaging, which I think is a common thing with REM Beauty. Like in terms of how it looks nice, but in terms of how it feels, it does feel not super luxe, which is fine, but you know, yeah. Look, it's sticking around for now. It's not a favorite, but it is unique in my collection. This one is very cool. It's from the brand Super Shades. I'm not really sure exactly where that brand is from, but I picked it up in Thailand a couple of years ago now, pre-Panini. And this is one of the prettiest like colors of lip gloss I've ever tried. It's a bit of a sheer color, but it is so much like a Your Lips But Better color. It's kind of got this like muted, warm, pinky, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like a blush for your lips, kind of. It's a really great little product. I don't remember it being super expensive, and also the size is nice. Like I actually kind of like small sizes, like I might have mentioned earlier in the video, because I actually do like to get through the product and then maybe go on to try something else or repurchase it if I want to. So I don't know if you have Super Shades near you, but yeah, this is in the shade 803. It's a very pretty little lip gloss. This one, again with the branding rubbed off, which is kind of like a common thing for this brand. It's Colourpop. I can't remember if this is their lip gloss or lip oil, but it's in the shade Smirk. I'll be honest, I'm not like obsessed with this, but it's kind of one that I just like pop on and I just like chuck in my purse and stuff. I don't know if that's like a good thing. It's just okay. It very much gives like generic lip gloss, but it has this very sheer like pinky nude color that, you know, again, is good to have on hand. I don't know. Maybe I should declutter this. You know what? I actually will. I was like looking at this being like, oh, I should just like get through it. But I was like, but I have like other ones that do like a similar thing and I enjoy more. So I'm actually going to declutter this. This also is actually really super old now that I'm thinking about it. It's real old. So maybe I'll just scooch over that way. And then this one from M Cosmetics is the lip gloss. And I thought this was in the shade French Nude, but I think that's actually the matte lip cloud. This is in the shade Secret Blush, and it's a very, very pretty nude gloss. And again, kind of reminds me I should just get rid of that Colourpop one, because I have ones like this where I'm like, I should use this because it's so pretty. But then I'm like, I should use up the other ones that I don't like, even though I have other ones that I do like that I could use instead. And see, I look at this one as well and think like, oh, I would so much rather like use this up like to completion than try and like struggle through my probably expired Colourpop lip oil / lip gloss that I'm not sure of because the packaging rubbed off. So yeah, that's the last lip gloss, which is convenient because now all my lip glosses fit nice and snugly in here. I might put some of them back in like the stand in the drawer, but I'll do that off camera and reorganize it and you'll see that at the end. But yeah, here are my lip glosses. Alrighty, here are 5 what I would call like hybrid lipstick / gloss stick thingies. I intend on keeping all of these, and specifically these 4 I use like frequently. I know these Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips were really popular on TikTok, but the Etude Syrup Glossy. It's not an exact dupe. They have the same kind of packaging and application style, but I would say the Etude one is more pigmented compared to the more like sheer glossy balmy tart, but like similar vibes, especially if you want like a more affordable alternative. Not exact dupes, but I find them quite similar. But I am really into these. They're the exact kind of lip product I like, just like a super dewy, juicy kind of lip. I find it really flattering. And then these two again are quite similar. This is from Opera. It's a Japanese brand. I believe it's like the Glace Rouge tint. I'm not sure the exact name, but I believe it's quite popular. At the time when I bought this, it was like all over the bestseller charts, and I'm pretty sure it's still sold. It's really pretty glassy, kind of super glossy lipstick. And then this one I feel like no one talks about is from I'm Meme. So like the Meme Box brand, I'm not exactly sure, but it's from their like I'm Bare range, I think it's called, but I'll see if I can link it down below. But this is just like so fantastic. Very similar to the Opera one. And again, I remember this being pretty affordable. Just kind of like a Your Lips But Better with like a real gloss to it. Very pretty. And then this one is sort of like marketed in a similar category as the ones I just showed you, like of a really glossy jelly type lipstick, but I would say this is more closer to a traditional lipstick. It definitely is a little bit more of that kind of like waxy kind of feel. I still want to keep using this because I did only get this recently. I don't think this formula is as special as those other ones, but it is like a very nice kind of pretty bright pink color that is nice to layer with other things. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, not a standout formula to me. It's like, says it's sheer, but I still find it to be quite pigmented. But yeah, this style of product is one that I enjoy very much, so I'm keeping all of these, just kind of getting that out of the way. Okay, then we come to lip tints, but specifically we're just going to take a brief moment of our time to talk about Romand lip tints. As you can see, I have a lot of them. And you know how I said before, like with a formula that you really like, sometimes you buy the color and you think it's like the formula you really like, but actually like that color is the only one of that formula that you need / enjoy, and you won't use the other ones. I'm going to tell you right now, this formula, this one to this one, so just the two on the end are slightly different, but these all in the middle are all the Romand Juicy Lasting Tint. I wear all of them. Like genuinely at one point or another across like a period of months, like even here I'm like, oh, there's one missing because it's like in my bag. At one point or another I reach for these. They are just the prettiest colors, and specifically they make like cool tone shades, which in Korean cosmetics is kind of like only a recently in the last couple of years kind of thing. Before, when you buy lip tints, they always skewed really warm and just weren't really super flattering on me. But a lot of these, in fact, I'm pretty sure it's like all of them actually, but I would have to double check, are designed to be for like a more cool toned or like a neutral complexion. And the colors are just like so pretty. And you can go, you know, check out their website or listings online for the tints, and you can see all the different colors they have because they have so many. But they're just such pretty kind of colors. And I'm not going to say they're like unusual, you can't get them anywhere else, but just I love the range. And every season they come out with like more kind of seasonal colors and like really super cute packaging. And these typically retail for $10 US or less. They are definitely on the more affordable side. I'm obsessed with them. I just think they're like the best thing since sliced bread. This one I've especially worn a lot of, which is a Bare Grape number 25. I think that is just like the most beautiful kind of dusty pink mauvey with like a slight hint of purple. Oh, it's just like so pretty. I also like the new Bare Fig, which is kind of a mix between a Bare Grape and Fig, which is like one of their best sellers from their original range. Pink Pumpkin is this kind of really pretty like orangey color, but again, it's not like that kind of orange that can look a little bit ghoulish on you. If you have more of that like neutral to cool tone, it tends to be, it's like a soft, like as it says, pink pumpkin. Really pretty. Almond Rose I'm obsessed with for kind of like a really soft like vintage kind of look. Like it's sort of like wearing like a deeper kind of vampire lipstick, but it's worn off and it's like a kind of just bitten color. Yeah, as you can tell, I am obsessed with these. So I'm gonna keep all of them, bar this one actually. I don't really reach for this one. And this I think is actually a different formula. I think it's like their lasting gloss or no, something else. It's not the Juicy Lasting Tint. It's like a different one. And this is in the shade Rose Splash. And I just don't love the color on me. And every time I put it on, I'm just like not obsessed with it. And then I just want to wear one of the other ones instead. So yeah, this one I'm going to get rid of. But genuinely, all the other ones are incredibly slay. And I feel like that's kind of wild for me. But if you have watched me, you know that I don't really have many products that I feel like this strongly about, whether it comes to fashion or beauty or whatever. But like, I love these tints. They're just so pretty, so easy to reapply. They don't leave your lips like dried or flaky. Like none of the issues with lip tints. I truly think they are like so incredible. I'm obsessed. And also this is like a newer formula. This is the Dewy Full Water Tint. I have mine in the shade Murmur Pink. And it's like a creamy, almost like a milky gloss. It's a little bit different to the lasting tint. And this is so pretty as well. Like it has this like milky almost element to it. Ugh, it's so pretty. I am a unabashed Romand stan. I love their lip tints so much. I wear all of these. Legitimately wear all of these. They're the best. Alrighty, let's talk about matte lipsticks. I thought I had more than this, but it turns out I don't. I'm not a big matte gal. I'm more of a kind of dewy gloss gal, as you could probably assume. In my mind, it kind of helps me justify having that many dewy glossy tints because I really do wear them all the time. And then I just have like a smaller selection of matte lip colors. So this shouldn't take too long at all because there's not really a lot to go through. And I already know there's quite a few colors here that are like significantly different and are like my only one of them. So like I, you know, hold on to them because I like the formula, have survived many declutters for the reason that I enjoy them and I like having them on hand. Specifically, these three are kind of my only ones of these colors, like potentially even in my entire lip collection. Maybe not necessarily, but I know for this one, this is from NARS. It's the Satin Lip Pencil in You. Oh, I suppose that's not actually matte, is it? Anyway, I will do a little swatcheroonie of this one. But You is like a very pretty Barbie pink, the likes of which I do not have much elsewhere in my collection, and it's just so pretty. And I nearly decluttered this a couple times and I would always put it back because I was just like, but it's just so good, and I love the formula as well. So that's You from NARS, and I'll be holding on to that. Then I have this lip crayon from Surat Beauty, which is in the shade Megalomane, and it is a very pretty kind of a blue-based matte classic red lip. Very pretty and a gorgeous velvety texture. The formula of this is really great. I want to try more Surat Beauty. It's definitely on the pricier side, but it is just such a gorgeous brand. And then I have this one from Romand. I'm pretty sure it's in the shade Midnight, or maybe it's Jazz. Maybe it's Midnight Jazz. I'm not sure. But as you can see, it's sort of more of a burgundy kind of color compared to the Surat one. And it is very pretty as well. And I feel like I should wear this because we're getting into like the holiday season. But also the thing is like the holidays here are summer. I tend to wear more of my like pretty sparkly lip glosses. But yeah, these three are all a different color to me. And these are the kind of shades that I do want to wear matte. I do tend to prefer mattes in darker shades because that is when I actually don't want them to move and, you know, move around my mouth and whatnot. Whereas like the lighter pinky kind of glossy shades that I do tend to wear the most, they look nice in a gloss, and if, you know, they smudge or anything, it doesn't really matter because they're usually quite sheer and not a big deal if you smudge on your foundation. These ones, however, I'm sure as many of you know, if you like mess up on applying these or you smudge them, it's like makeup hellscape. But yeah, these are like the more unique colors. And then these ones are kind of my movie pinks, and I wanted to swatch these as well because I think they might be really similar, and I don't know if I need all of them, especially these two, but I do like all of them. So yeah, if they're too similar, then I might get rid of one or declutter one because I don't need to double up. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that is three of the same lipstick. Maybe this second Peri Peri one is a touch warmer, which I actually don't love. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's three of the same lipstick. Okay, maybe I can declutter two of them then. Wow, really? And even then, I just like smudged them out a bit to see if they were changing color, but they're all pretty similar. Well, I'm definitely going to pass on this one from Peri Peri. That's that one there. It's a little bit warmer, a bit more peachy. It's pretty, and I mean, look, we're really getting down to the wire here in terms of how similar they are, but I think I can pass this one on because of the three, I prefer these tones a little bit more. I think I'm going to hold on to the Remand one because I just like how that applied more. Like the texture is just more velvety, and really, again, I prefer that dewier, glossier lip on the day-to-day. So if I was going to go for a velvety one, I think I would go for that one. And that is the one I've taken with me on trips and stuff and really enjoyed how that's worn. But just so you know, they're very comparable. The Peri Peri Mood lipstick in this packaging, because they have a few different ones, and the Remand matte lipstick. They're very comparable, but I'm going to hold on to the Remand one and pass that one along. With tube lipsticks like this, if you give them a little bit of a cleanup and sanitize them, you know, friends and family, it's usually safe to share with if they so choose. So yeah, I'm gonna pass that one along. Okie dokie, and here we have my matte lip colors, minus this one, which I thought was matte but isn't, it's satin. But yeah, I have 3 matte lip colors and this pencil also. Okay, now we come to matte liquid lipsticks, or like lip tints. I feel like the kind of words surrounding these types of formulas has changed. I feel like we used to just call them like matte liquid lipsticks, but now there's sort of these like lip tints, which I think are just liquid lipsticks. But anyway, I'm gonna just kind of pick at this because I see some jumping out to me, and then we'll probably whittle it down. I feel like I'm changing my method with every category, but you know what? Whatever gets it done. This little battered guy from YSL, I really enjoy. It's kind of like a more watery kind of matte tint. It's like a stain, but also matte liquid lipstick. Out of all of these, I think this formula is the most like unique. Not like unique like you can't find anything like it, but I don't have anything like it in my collection that I can compare it to. Also the color is really pretty. I have it in the shade 11. It's the Tatouage Couture Matte Stain. Yeah, it's like a matte liquid lip stain, and it is very pretty. So I'm gonna hold on to that one. Similarly, this one from Moonshot is your kind of classic matte liquid lip tint, kind of like one of those lip cloud. I feel like lip cloud, is that just one brand or a few brands? It's more of that like moussey kind of formula, like a whipped liquid lipstick. It's in the shade Love Drunk, and it's quite similar in terms of shade to the YSL one, but they're still different enough that I feel like I use them for different occasions, but I really, really enjoy this one as well. So holding on to that. I feel like if you're into K-beauty, you have definitely encountered or perhaps even tried these at one point or another. These are from Peri Peri. I have the Ink Velvet and I think the Airy Velvet. Yeah, 2 different versions of the formula. My most used category is like tints or like glossy lipsticks and just like that dewy thing, more so than these kind of more matte ones. So I can't sit here and be like, I use these all the time. I think the 2 that I just showed you before, the YSL one and the Moonshot one, because they're that kind of really pretty soft petal pink, I go for them a lot if I'm going in this category, but I do use these as well. This one is newer to me, so I haven't really used it a bunch. It's from their like new shade range, and it's like a strawberry soft pink, and it almost looks like my natural lip color, but just a little bit lighter, a little bit more nude, which is really pretty. And then this is more of your kind of like berry sort of color, which again, I don't feel like I use a lot. But in terms of other colors in my kind of tint matte collection, it's gonna be the only berry remaining, I think. Little spoiler, but yeah, some of the ones that I'll keep are gonna be like more red, but this one is like the only like berry that I really like. Holding on to those 2. This one I kind of floated off the end there. This is from M Cosmetics. It is their matte lip cloud in the shade Rose Nude. It's a very pretty matte liquid lip color, but I've had it for a very long time and I prefer other nude colors. So I'm going to declutter this one. I feel kind of bad decluttering this one, but I just really don't use it. Like I just don't like the formula as much as other things. I don't like the shade as much as other things. It's from the brand For You Too. Again, I picked this up in Thailand, and it's like a matte liquid lip tint kind of thing, and I just don't love it. It's just okay. In the Thai drugstores or makeup shops that I went to, there was a lot of really cool, affordable makeup, and it reminded me a lot of the kind of Korean makeup that I first got into when I got into K-beauty, where it's like a lot of products that are very like affordable and like cute packaging, you know, shaped like a heart, with like a really big shade range, but like maybe not my favorite formulas. I have got some products which I've talked about again, which I got in Thailand, which are like amazing. That highlighter that I spoke about earlier comes to mind. It's just like so stunning. Where I can see like why it's popular, because it's like affordable and probably for teenagers, it's really cool, but as a woman in her 20s who's tried a lot of makeup, it doesn't really impress me. It's very cute, but I'm going to declutter it. These two matte liquid lipsticks from Lime Crime. I have one in the shade Marshmallow, which is like a really pretty grey, pale, like beigey nude. It suits me really nicely for when I do want that kind of, you know, nude liquid lip, which isn't often. It isn't often, but every now and then I'm like, gosh, I wish I had like a nude matte liquid lip in like kind of a cool toned, greyish, pinky kind of color, and this is the one. And then I have the classic Velveteen in Red Velvet, which is like the most stunning, like true red, like petally, rosy, velvety kind of looking lip color. From memory, I remember following Lime Crime like way back when I was in like middle school, and I just thought they were such a cool brand. And then a bunch of stuff happened, but it does seem like they are kind of on the right track again now. And I think as consumers, if we boycott a brand and we do not buy from them, which I did for a significant period of time, and then they kind of show change and kind of stick to what they say they're gonna do, I'm kind of like, that's cool. I mean, obviously no one's obligated to buy from them again, but yeah, I do think like they have an interesting kind of brand character arc, let's say. I am like 90% sure, at least in like the Western beauty world, that Lime Crime was like the brand that came out with like matte liquid lipsticks. Like I feel like they were the first ones to do it, and it was like the first I heard of it, and then I feel like it just went like everywhere, and every single brand and their mum and their neighbor had like matte liquid lipsticks. But yeah, these Lime Crime Velveteens, I still think the formula is actually just incredibly beautiful. And it looks really good on the lips. But it is still a matte liquid lipstick, which is not my favorite formula out of everything. But if I am to wear them, I quite like these ones. If we're talking about like the very traditional matte liquid lipstick style. These are very nice, and these are really nice colors. Another very nice formula from Lime Crime is their Plushies formula. And I have this one in the shade Turkish Delight, and it's a very pretty kind of rosy nude shade. I feel like you can probably see a trend. It's like these kinds of like pinky, mauvey, rosy shades. That's pretty much what I wear mostly. What can I say? I'm a gal who knows what she likes. I do like to shake it up, but like these I always like just pop in my bag, and I just can rely on them. And this has more of that like semi-sheer, like whipped kind of formula. It's very pretty. They have a one in the shade called like, I think it's called Lavender Honey. That looks absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I really, really like these plushies. And the packaging is just so, so cute. This battered little bestie here is from Bitty x Colourpop, which I think was like Pony. If you watch Pony, she's a Korean makeup artist. This was like her collab with Colourpop. Can I just ask, like, is it just me and like my products, but like what is with Colourpop packaging? Just like absolutely deteriorating, especially their lip colors. Like, I mean, you know, I did use this, and I have used this a lot. I got a lot of use out of it. But it's gotten a little crusty. I just feel, I don't know, like I just feel like Colourpop products are just, you know, they're very affordable, and that's really great, and they have some really great formulas, especially like the eyeshadows or the Super Shock highlighters and whatnot, but I just feel like they're not made to last. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like they're kind of like fast fashion makeup almost. Like maybe that's a bit dramatic, but I think if you get the use out of the Colourpop products and you like use everything up, then it's really great. But I just feel like their products like dry up a lot, and the formula changes and whatnot, and the packaging deteriorates, and it just, I don't know, just kind of bothers me. I do like a lot of Colourpop formulas, and I do love how affordable they are, and I've been buying from Colourpop for a long time. But yeah, I think that period when they were just like releasing new things every week, I was just like, I gotta tap out, I'm sorry. Anyway, small side tangent, all to say this is a nice color, but yeah, the formula got a little crusty. I don't know, the formula just isn't up to scratch compared to the others. And, you know, I'm glad I got to test it and try it and whatever, but I don't even know if they still make this formula. I know they definitely don't make this color anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna declutter this. Speaking of things I'm going to declutter, I think this may be one of the few Romand products that I don't really like. I would say like 95% of products I try from Romand I really, really, really like. Not just like, oh yeah, this is good. It's like, I love them. The Juicy Lasting Tints, the Original Cushion I really like, the All Flat Brow, the glosses, like it's a really great brand. Oh, the mascaras, like so much good stuff. This was not one for me. I really do not like this formula. This is the Milk Tea Velvet Tint, I think it's called. Very cool color. I think this is like the chocolate one. It's like a warm, brick dark brown. Probably not the best color for me, so like I'll take that. It's a little too strong on me, but I do not like this formula. And I just have avoided it like the plague ever since. Like every time I've worn it, it doesn't work out for me. It's like messy. It's just, I don't know. And like maybe it's just me and someone else who likes these kinds of velvet tints more than I do, because again, it's like not my preferred formula, but just like I really, really don't like this. So I'm quite glad. I like actually saw this when I was taking them out and I was like, oh yes, I can talk about this and be rid of it. So yeah, the Milk Tea Velvet Tint from Romand, not a favorite of mine. But see, after I say something kind of negative, I'm going to say something positive. This from Romand, I think it's just their Zero Velvet Tint. So I think one of their first products they came out with. This is in the shade Polar. I think it's one of the best sellers for them. It's very, very pretty. It's this really gorgeous kind of, I don't think frosty is the right word for it, but like, I think I used bitten as a term earlier, but it's like a bitten, sort of slightly vampy pink, but it's still really like got a lot of punch to it in the color. It's got a lot of saturation, but you can just dab it out to be like the prettiest like gradient. It's really, really pretty. The color itself is pretty. The formula I don't think is fantastic, and by that I don't mean in any way that it is bad. It's more that just like I don't think it's like a never seen before, like this formula is crazy and so different. Like I feel like the YSL formula, which is a bit bougie of me, but like I feel like that formula I'm like, oh, that's pretty different to other stuff I've tried. But this is like, I'm like, yeah, I've tried liquid lipsticks like this. It's not dissimilar to other liquid lipsticks. But again, with Romand, it's like you're talking $10 or less. So they're making really, really great formulas for a really great price. And specifically for Romand, I love the colors. I just think their color range is just so phenomenal. So that is Polar from Romand, and I'm gonna hold on to it. And then remaining in kind of matte liquid lipstick slash tints are these three, which are the newer ones in my collection. Those other ones I've had for a while. They're still good, still cracking, still whipping. I don't know what that, sorry, that was a really weird way to describe liquid lipsticks. But yeah, those ones I'm all quite familiar with, those formulas, and I've used them quite a bit. I've used this one quite a few times. This is the Etude Fixing Tint. This is in the shade Dusty Beige. And yeah, I can see why people like these tints. I think they went viral for being like mask proof. It's a very pretty kind of neutral nude shade. Again, as I've said a couple times before, I would rather wear this kind of shade in like a gloss or something more creamy, but it is a good formula. And again, a pretty solid price point for that as well. This one is very similar to the Etude one. This is also from I'm Meme, and it's again from their Bare line, I'm pretty sure. And this one is a pretty similar formula to the Etude one. Maybe a little bit more like blendable if you kind of want to blot it out and have it a bit more of that blurred kind of look. The Etude one's a bit more like your kind of matte tint, like a thinner liquid lipstick that wears really nicely, but this one has a bit more of that like creamy blurry kind of effect. But this one literally just looks like my lip color, like quite literally the same. I feel like it's a bit conceited for me to be like, it's pretty, because like I just said, it looks like my natural lip color, but I suppose it looks like the best version of my natural lip color, not when it's like dehydrated and flaky and cold. Nice. And I like the packaging too, and it's very like slim, portable vibes. And then I had this one in the same section, which I believe is from Holika Holika. It doesn't have the name of like the formula written on there, and I can't exactly remember what it was, but I do think it's funny that it just says #wig. That made me have a giggle, because this is something I got quite recently and haven't really tested. And it's like fully just like a lip gloss. It is not matte, so I don't know why it's in this section. I am sorry. It's a little bit more of like a glossy color, and the gloss on it is really pretty. However, I don't love this color and what it does for me. I just swatched it on my lips, which I will not include in this video as I really just only have lip gloss on. I'm not prepared to be on screen, but I'm not in love with this formula and how it feels on the lips. It's kind of unremarkable. I have a feeling I tested it because it was like new in and like trending, and everyone was like, it's good, look at all the colors. And I was like, I'll try it. And then I think I might have tried it once or twice and been like, yeah, this is very unremarkable, and sort of forgotten about it, which is bad. But again, kind of like I mentioned in the intro, I do test quite a bit and try and go through it. So yeah, Not obsessed with this. We'll be passing it on. It's not the vibe for me. And we have reached the final frontier of the lip drawer, which is lipsticks. Like the normal ones. I don't know, like regular schmegular lipsticks, kind of. Although I would argue that some of these are anything but. I don't actually know if I've actually gotten any new regular schmegular lipsticks since like my last declutter. That's what it feels like as I'm looking at this. I've had a lot of these, if not most of these, for a very long time. However, I do think I will be making some decisions. I don't know if I'm going to cull a whole bunch, but I will definitely cull some because I can already see a couple where I'm like, do I really use this? Do I really need this? I don't know. Probably not. In the interest of kind of keeping a more curated makeup collection of things that I, you know, really love and use. Yeah. Which, you know, is kind of the thing we've been trying to do this entire video. Hey, so let's just jump into it. I am absolutely keeping both of these. These are from Jill Stewart. These are their Lip Bloom lipsticks. First of all, hello. How precious. A little mirror in the top of the cap. Really dinky. Pretty much never use that, but I think it's very cute that they have them. This formula is just like textbook definition of like a really pretty glossy lipstick. I have one in this like pinky kind of color, which I use a lot. Very pretty neutral. And the first one that I got, which is why I bought the second one, both times actually on holiday because you can't get them in Australia. I bought this one in Japan and then I bought this one in Thailand. But I got this color, which is kind of like a pinky coral. I always thought it was like more orange, but when I look at it, I'm always like, no, that's pretty pink. It's definitely more of a pinky pink coral than like a orangey pink coral. But this color I will swatch for you because it's just so pretty. Like, look at the shine on that. Ugh, I feel like that wasn't the most impressive swatch, but it just shines so nicely. It's like a jelly, dewy, glazed honey glow on the lips. And I just think they're so cute and I love them. So I'm definitely keeping these. These are the Confessions lipsticks from Hourglass. I originally just got the one with like the component, but then because I worked in a retail place where we had these, they had like a bunch of extra like components. So I was able to just buy refills and get like free components, something like that. I can't really remember, but I just love these colors. I think they're so gorgeous and I need to reach for them more because one thing about these is the packaging is obviously stunning, like these, you know, kind of vintage style, like stiletto tubes, but that also makes them very like subtle, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but because they're kind of like almost like pens, you can like stand them up in your drawer or wherever. And they don't have a color on the outside, like you can't tell what shade they are. And just, I don't know, for me, as much as I love them, and every time I pick them up, I'm like, oh, this formula is amazing. They're so pretty. They're just like such a special makeup item. I just don't like think to use them because they're just not like visually obvious to me compared to some of these ones here, which like obviously, you know, you see the color on the tube. For example, I only have one Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, so like I know it's that one from Charlotte Tilbury. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just need to pop them in a different spot in the drawer or something, but they are a really gorgeous formula. I have like a more red one, a more burgundy one, and a more nude one, and they're all really pretty colors, and I just need to use them because they're so pretty. Speaking of special and pretty lip colors, this is a Chanel lipstick. It is the single Chanel lipstick I have. I got this quite a few years ago now. I've had it for a really long time, and they don't actually make this formula anymore. It's the Rouge Coco Shine. They've redone the formula. It's like Rouge Coco Bloom, I think now. Bloom Shine, something like that. I don't know. I don't really buy Chanel makeup a lot. But I have this one in the shade Boy, and it is like a model off-duty like brown rose. It straight up looks like a brown morph in the tube, but it's more of like a glossy kind of finish. I have some sentimental kind of reasons attached to this lipstick. I also consider it to be like lucky. I used to wear this to job interviews because I feel like it's a very like understated, like fresh put together kind of color, which is good for job interviews. I don't know, kind of silly, but it's just the kind of thing where if I want to wear like a kind of sheer nude lipstick and I don't know what else to wear, I pop this one on. So I'm gonna hold on to it. It's a bit old, probably a bit too old, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's fine. Let's tackle these babies. The classic, the quintessential MAC lipstick, the love of anyone who watched YouTube in 2012. I have 3 colors and I think I may only keep one of them. I'll start with this one, which is Blankety. This is actually passed on to me by my friend Erin. She had this color and she just didn't love it. She was like, it's too cool tone, it's too kind of gray. I think like swatched, this color is stunning and very much my vibe. But sometimes when I put it on my lips, depending on how I do my makeup, it can be a little too gray, kind of like Erin's experience. But I think I need to experiment with more because like looking at this swatch, I think it's like so pretty. That's like a stunning, like kind of neutral nude lip color. I actually went into this being like, maybe I should declutter it, but like swatching that again, I'm like, never mind, that's really pretty. It's my problem. I just can't figure it out. Actually, hang on, I just want to check something. I have this color. Okay, interesting. This lip color from Candy Doll I'm going to hold on to. I've had this for way too long, but it is so pretty and it still smells and looks fine. But it's a Japanese brand. I think I mentioned it before. It's the same brand as Dollywink, actually. Candy Doll and Dollywink are like the same brand, but it's their lip color, and I think it's in the shade like Milk Tea, maybe? Maybe I'm wrong. 4C is what it says on the tube. But that's really pretty. I was comparing the two because I was like, oh, well, this is like a really pretty nude lipstick as well. But that one you can see is definitely more like muted and grey. But yeah, interesting. Well, I'm definitely keeping that. And then for reference again, this is the other MAC lip color that I really like. This is Peach Blossom, which is a bit more sheer and glossy. This is from their Cream Sheen range as opposed to like their satin range. That is Peach Blossom, which is actually really similar. Maybe not so much. It's more of like a neutral sheer pink, but I find that to be quite pretty on the lips and very much an easy. It's actually honestly really close to my natural lip color. It doesn't really add a lot of pigment, but it does add like a nice evenness and shine. It's like a lip BB cream, which I suppose is just a my lips fit better kind of color. But yeah, that's interesting. Okay, well, I'm definitely keeping Peach Blossom because I wear that one all the time. And then I want to show you one that I am getting rid of because I held onto it for ages because I was like, no, but like, it's good. But like, guys, it is not good on me. Oh man, and like just watching that now, I'm like, what on earth? This is called Shy Girl from MAC. And I wore this to my high school formal, where at the time I was actually a redhead. And I used to wear all these like peachy warm tone colors, which I think with red like Albany hair and me being pretty pale did work at the time. But now I don't think I have worn this in like the longest time. Although I do have like a somewhat memory of me putting this on and being like literally ew. Okay, not ew, it's not fair. It is actually a really pretty color, especially if you are a natural redhead. I think this color is so pretty, and that is like why I think the makeup artist, because I went to MAC to get my makeup done for my formal 1000 years ago. I think that's why they picked it for me, because they were like, oh yeah, you know, like it matches red hair, whatever. Now having my natural brown hair, and even when I had blonde hair, like this just never looked good. It's not it. And you can see like these three, I'm like, oh yeah, like these three, they all like make sense. And that is why, you know, and I wear these two a lot. And then that one makes sense with those three. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see how someone who wears these colors would also wear this color. But this color is like completely different. And it really does not suit me. And it's funny because I'm like, how did I ever think it did suit me? I'm not sure. But yeah. I'm gonna declutter Shy Girl. And that's also why I've said like, I, you know, get a little bit sentimental sometimes, but not really, because like I did wear that to my high school formal and I feel fine about not holding on to that. They still sell it, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay. I have the memories of going, there's a picture somewhere. I don't need to keep the lipstick. But I will hold on to Blankety because that is really pretty. And I feel like I just need to like do my makeup like with this as a focus and play with it more because I really like how that looks on my hand. And then again, on the flip side, I do have a mild sentimentality around this lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury because I bought it when I was solo traveling in London. And that was like cute, and I like went myself to like the Charlotte Tilbury place because we didn't have it like in Australia. into, I think it was maybe Harrods, that really, really fancy department store. And I was like really intimidated. And I'd wanted to get this lipstick for a while. Like I'd had it on my wish list and I was like, I'm gonna go and buy this like one lipstick for myself. And the store attendant was really nice and gave me a bunch of samples and whatever. Anyway, cute memory associated with this. I don't know if, it's this one here. It's a little kind of between these shades and that shade, isn't it? Oh, I feel like it doesn't look bad though. It's very much like a really pale nude shade. Hang on, let me just try it on my lips off camera. On my lips, this looks quite pale. It is, I think, like definitely a milky pale nude. I think it might be the palest one in this range, I think. But it doesn't look bad. I think it looks quite nice. I do also generally pair this with like a gloss and some liner. Like it is that type of lip product for me. I don't really tend to wear it on its own because I do think this kind of really fair nude needs like some other stuff with it to kind of really make it shine. I'm gonna hold on to this for now. Keep those sentimental memories around for a bit. Play with it. It is really like the only thing like it I have in terms of lip colors. But if I try and wear it again and I despise it, I'll do something about it then. And obviously if I find something which like serves the same role that I like more, then I'll replace it. But until then, I'm gonna keep a hold of it. Because, you know, yeah, it's like a peachy, because it's definitely like a peachy nude, but it's got a bit of that like grey in it too. Like it's not really like a full orangey kind of color. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Then I have this one from YSL. It's just their Rouge Volupte formula. It's a little bit messy, don't mind it. In this really kind of cool toned pink. It's a very like jelly sheer formula. I often pair this with other things because like on its own it almost has like a bit of a neon tone to it. But it is very pretty. And like the shine it has is like, it's so pretty. And I think this one was, and if I remember correctly, I think this one was like a little treat that I bought for myself when I finished my job at this makeup retail store. I was like, let me buy something a little pricey while I still have my store discount. Let me swatch it for you so you can believe me. But it's like this milky, cool toned blue pink. I need to wear that more. That's so pretty. Stop. Oh, and also I should mention, this is like the kind of color that when I had blonde hair, I really liked, but just looked like way too intense on me. And now that I am a brunette, revisiting a lot of these shades, they look a lot more wearable because like the actual kind of contrast between my hair and my skin and everything, it doesn't like throw it off balance as much. So yeah. Ooh. Oh, that's pretty. This formula is really gorgeous. It is a very nice quality satin lipstick from Flower Beauty, but this shade is like a very peachy, orangey shade that I just don't really wear. I think I got sent this and I wanted to test out some stuff from Flower Beauty, which by the way, Flower Beauty, very, very nice quality stuff all around. Again, like those eyeshadows talked about before, and I feel like it's bad optics because it looks like I don't like the products, and it's not that the quality of the products is all really good, it's just like the particular shades or like the format of the products are not something that I go for, but like if that's your thing, I definitely recommend it because it's very nice stuff. But yes, this lipstick is very pretty, but the color is not for me. It's in the shade Peachy Nude, cream lipstick, very pretty, but also quite orange and not the most flattering on me, I've come to feel. So sorry, Drew Barrymore, I love you, Drew Barrymore. When my friends and I used to play Charlie's Angels as kids, I was always Dylan. Because I had a brown bob. Love you, Drew Barrymore. This lipstick from Rodin, I believe it's Linda Rodin. It was her line. I don't actually know if they make these anymore. I actually don't even know if the line still exists. But this lipstick is just one of the most luxurious, gorgeous formulas. If you're looking for like a glossy, like satiny full coverage lipstick. I was thinking about decluttering it. I was like, I don't know if I need this. And I just put it on my lips and I was just like, oh my God, it's so pretty. I will swatch it for you because it's stunning. It's also in the shade Loving Lucy, which is, you know, Lucy is obviously my name, but look at this. Let me do a swipe for you. Like, it's so pretty. It's so like luxurious. It smells like jasmine. The brand if I remember correctly, was all about like having oils and stuff like that in their products. So they're all really like oily. And I don't mean that in like a negative way, but like they all had like, I think this one had like jasmine oil in it. I want to say, oh, I actually just got some on my nose. Oops. This is so pretty. And I love actually just dabbing and blotting this on my lips and then doing a gloss on top. That bird is very loud. I'm sorry if you can hear that bird. But yeah, this is a very pretty lipstick. I don't think they make it anymore. So in terms of like content creator helpfulness, like, it's not really great to keep this around, but like it is so pretty. The packaging is really nice and it's just like, ugh, it's so luxe and like true luxury. Like the formula is just like stunning. Yeah, keeping this around. And then my beloved Bobbi Brown Crushed Lip Colors. I think this may be like the very first like PR that I was ever sent, ever. And I remember being like really generous and I just felt like an absolute fraud imposter and that I needed to immediately confess that they had made a mistake and to return them to their headquarters immediately. No, I just remember being like so cute and I was like giving some to like my mom and my aunt and like my cousin. It was just like, it was just so cute. So very positive memories that I am immortalizing on film today. I'm not going to keep all of these colors, but I am going to keep a few. And I think I'm actually just going to keep these three in the middle here. I have this one here in Cali Rose. Let me swatch them for you. Just a very pretty like berry mauve shade. And it's not necessarily uncommon, but it's not really one that I have in a lipstick. So holding on for that one. Then this one was like my go-to like everyday lip color for like so long, in the shade Baby. Just like a neutral kind of medium toned pink. And then this one, which is the shade Punch, which is like a neon-y hot pink, which now I'm looking at it is very similar to that Rodin one that I just showed you. Okay, I actually think I'm gonna give this shade Punch to my mum. Lipstick is, I think, my mum's like favorite thing and she loves pinky colors like this. So I don't need both of these. And since I'm holding on to this one, I'm gonna pass this one along to my mum. And then this one is the Bobbi Brown Crushed Lip Color in the shade Angel. And I have worn this one actually a lot. Again, when I was more of a redhead and I was wearing more of those like peachy colors. And even when I was like a blonde as well, this was like one of my go-to colors, but it's really not the kind of color that I feel like is my vibe, and I don't reach for them anymore. And again, it's quite similar in tone to like Baby, Angel. Like they're both kind of, you know what I mean? Similar uses, but this is more of the color I like. So I'm going to declutter this one. And then this one, I love this packaging so much. It's from the Ulla Johnson collab. So gorgeous, but if I open it, it's this like hot orange color, which I just don't really wear, if I'm being quite honest, but it's really pretty. And the shade name is also called Lulu, which is very cute. But again, I have held on to this for quite a while because I'm like, oh, you never know, like I might wear a hot orange, and like it hasn't happened, folks. And if there was really a scenario where I really needed a hot orange lipstick, I could always go get one if such a specific scenario arose, but it has not as of yet. So I'm going to pass that one on. I mean, I thought I was going to keep 3 of these, but I ended up keeping 2, which is good, and shows that the power of the declutter in like talking things through can actually be pretty helpful. Okay, and with that and the lip swatches on my hand, that is the entirety of my lip drawer of my makeup. I'm decluttering quite a lot, actually. Like there's actually more off to the side, but I'm really happy about that. I didn't really expect to declutter that much for some reason. I was kind of like, like the lip drawer, I like it too much, but I'm feeling really good about that, actually. Also, if you enjoyed this kind of like chatty, low-key vibe, just talking about beauty products, then I also just want to do a quick shout out to my Rat Royalty membership. If you click the join button down below, you can have a look and just see what it entails and see if it's your vibe, but it includes custom emotes, emojis, and access to the Discord server where we talk about beauty products and give each other recommendations for skincare, beauty, all that kind of good stuff. And I do a monthly live stream as well. So I just wanted to quickly mention that, because if you enjoyed this kind of long thing, then there's more where that came from. More rambly goodness. Always. I am the producer of that content. And with that, that marks the end of the declutter series. I'm going to share with you a lovely little comparison shot. So we have the before of the lip drawer with all my lipsticks, etc. And then we have the after. So it's not incredibly different, but it definitely feels a little bit less cluttered, a little bit less overwhelming, but just a little. Like I said, the kind of lip category is probably my favorite category and like the one I most enjoy having a wider variety of. If you watch this all the way through, I just want to say thank you so much for spending a little chunk of time with me. I appreciate it. And let me know as well if there's any kind of particular beauty content that you'd want to see in the new year, because I'm using my noggin and doing a little bit of a think on it. So let me know if you have any thoughts. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!